As of today, Logo Battle is officially cancelled. After this video is posted, I will probably never do anything with it ever again. But how did we get to this point? In this video, while you watch me pay back a loan shark and island saver, I'll be going over two things: why it's cancelled, and a rundown of what my plans were for the show. And the episode 4 script will also be in the description. Before you read it, please note that I mainly write scripts just for me and myself only, so there isn't much descriptiveness in the script. It's really just a bunch of pages, just dialogue. That's just how I write scripts, so if you're confused, I understand that. But if you want to read it, go ahead, it's in the description. Anyways, enjoy. My biggest problem with Logo Battle for these past few years wasn't that I have too many shows or I didn't like the show. I was very passionate in the story I wanted to tell with this group of characters. However, there was one very, very big thing that ruined that passion for a long period of time, as seen by the Season 2 episode gaps. This thing being, I own none of these characters, apart from Bfdi logo, which is a logo from one of my other projects, and uses Discord's likeness. Every other character also uses the likeness of a different IP I, 1, don't have the rights to, and 2, they don't truly feel like my characters. Let's take Blocky's Funny Doings International logo as an example. I had fun writing him, but it's basically just me writing Blocky from Bfdi, and that is a huge challenge while also trying to write my own characters with their own personalities. I have to wrap in a character with a personality I didn't create, and instead I'm just using to make gag jokes. This really didn't sit right with me. Blocky's Funny Doings International logo isn't the only one though. Here's some Bfdi logo, basically just the announcer, Puss in Boots logo, Fall Guys logo, My Singing Monsters logo, Kool-Aid logo, Mr. Beast logo, Among Us logo, Angry Birds logo, Family Guy logo, Alcafaz logo, and Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated logo. That's a total of 12 out of 29 total characters in Logo Battle Ultra, which is 41% of the cast. If you look back at episode 2 and 3, you'll notice I got rid of Puss in Boots logo and Doofenshmirtz logo, two characters I name in this list. This was intentional, as I honestly wanted to get rid of these joke-like characters ASAP, that way I can get to something that's more me. Also, spoiler alert, Among Us logo was going to be the contestant voted out via contestant vote in episode 4. Sense a trend? Yeah, me too. I made it that way. Now that I've explained that, those factors heavily demotivated me from working on Logo Battle, and made me instead try to pursue other projects with other characters that I can actually feel and call mine. Now, for the second reason why Logo Battle Ultra is cancelled, basically, Season 2 was just not meant to exist. If you were around when Logo Battle first released, you would know that I was also making a Bfda Season 3 OS. The general concept was to just turn Season 3 of my camp, Bfda, into a fully fledged object show, and Logo Battle was originally made to only tease and hype up this object show. But then, Logo Battle blew up, and I also ended up canceling Bfda Season 3 OS. So, due to popular demand and me just absolutely having a blast making Season 1, I decided, why don't I go big? So I made a Season 2. And Season 2 started out a little rough. For starters, the entire first episode is basically just object filler again, episode 1. And it's heavily inspired off that. I'm pretty sure I was just rewatching the show as I was writing episode 1 script. And this trend continues later when I talk about the plans I had for Logo Battle Ultra. Basically, the story, it was just a mix of a bunch of object show plots into one. It wasn't my story. See how this is connecting to the first reason? These characters weren't mine. Episode 1 was basically just me ripping off another object show. The story I had planned was me just ripping off other object shows. I only made Season 2 due to popular demand. If Season 1 didn't blow up due to the likeness of the IPs I used, and Season 2 would have actually just never ever been considered. Reason 3, and this reason probably makes the most sense out of all of them, I have a lot of shows, and I need room for other stories. Now look, I know I said at start that this wasn't a factor in the beginning, but it is. It's just not a major one like you'd expect, but it is still a factor in the equation. My current shows I'm actively working on are the Halloween the Object Show, with episode 10 being 50 minutes long, Bro for Ladies Wave 3, my final show, TBD, not revealing any info yet, but it's big. Stole, I Was Wrong Object Show, I'll talk about this show in a different vid. And BFDA, I'll talk about this in a different vid. And with the episode gaps of Logo Battle already as is, with interest obviously dying from the initial 2023 hype, I would have just simply be making Logo Battle just for the sake of it. I would have no interest, it wouldn't really be that good, and I would be putting in so much work that would almost get no attention at all. So after months, and I mean months, of constantly contemplating what to do, I ultimately decided that the best decision was that it's canceled. You can read episode 4 for yourself, but funny enough, after I was just talking about my frustration a majority of the show and my plans just not being my own, episode 4 is exactly that. Basically, it was pretty much just episode 4, The Thinkers, but instead was about Team Mario Please. Snapchat logo got the most votes and would have been eliminated, and the challenge would have lasted like just 5 seconds, which gets Google logo upset. More on that later. And then Pepsi logo and Lego logo, knowing that most of the team are idiots, that they are the prime targets. They separate to try and sway the votes and lie, which ultimately ends in Among Us logo getting out, and the entire team just pissed at Pepsi and Lego logo. But there was also something else that happened. When Snapchat logo got out, Google logo had a little freak out at her, and that spread around to the rest of the contestants. People were unsure if he was truly prepared to host, and after the challenge was so quick, he got very angry about that as well. Later on, he has a conversation with 3D CG rendering of a Goblin logo and Wikipedia logo about all this. Google logo isn't ready. He's just improvising. He's dealing with the fact that he has host powers, and he never has had leadership to this level before. He doesn't know what to do. He is scared. This conversation ends with Google logo motivated to make a proper elimination area. This would have started the story I was trying to tell. Basically, it was a Bean Show and Tpot ripoff. Basically, here's the story. If you recall back in episode 3 post-credit, YouTube logo sees Steam logo for a brief second. This is not a hallucination. Steam logo in the upcoming episodes would have been very similar to one from Tpot. Basically just hiding in the background. It's and the elimination area, Google logo would have been experimenting, making a weird thingy for the contestants to walk into, kind of like a portal. So Snapchat logo and whoever else was eliminated in episode 5 would walk into it and would close shortly after. No trace of where they are. No trace. No, nothing. Does that kind of sound familiar?
I've created a different method of elimination. I call it the good place. Just stay in here until the competition's over. Okay. I've, never made a whole room before. I hope that actually centers somewhere. Hey, actually, Magazine, can you come out here? I just want to make sure you're okay. Magazine? I didn't kill her, right?
During episode 5's contestant vote, he tries to reopen this portal to eliminate the next person. Instead, it doesn't open. His powers weren't working the way he wanted to. The eliminated contestants so far were trapped and would have never been seen again for the remainder of the show. This would have led to him slowly losing sanity as more and more episodes go on. Does that sound familiar? Thought so. I didn't think the whole Steam logo plot fully. I just knew I wanted them to be the main villain in Season 2. And in the back of my mind, I knew I was just ripping off Tpot, which led to my demotivation of this entire show. This entire show has just been me ripping off other things. Barely any of this was mine, or my ideas. Like, I get inspired for scenes all the time, but there's a difference in inspiration for a plot and just completely doing the exact same plot, but just I'm writing it instead. I'm sure I could have pulled it off, and it would have been cool, but knowing that I would have just been making a Bean Show and Tpot clone, I just highly disliked this story, but I didn't want to scrap it and just think of something else, because I had nothing else that I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to fully dive into full TDI Survivor as drama competition, as Logo Battle was never that. I do think that style of Logo Battle could have worked, But once again, these aren't my characters, so even if the show was that, it would have eventually led to where we are now. I will always love Logo Battle and the opportunities that it's given me. It is my most popular show, but not because I made it. It's because all of these familiar brands are on the thumbnails. If Logo Battle was named like Object Battle or some dumb name like that, filled with the stereotypical Object Show cast, but it was the same exact episodes with the same scripts, just they're not logos, it would have flopped. It would have flopped. It wouldn't have gained any traction at all, and that is just the truth. Logo Battle isn't known for the show itself. It's known for the recognizable brands and characters that I used in the show. And because of that, main point, I'm just not comfortable with continuing to create this show when I just simply have no passion for it. I really hope people can understand this decision. If you don't understand, then okay, bro, you cannot understand, you can disagree, that's fine. Thank you to all the people who watched Logo Battle and voted on it and just worked on it, especially the voice actors. You all shaped this show to what it was. Thank you, everyone, for making Logo Battle the show it was. And one final thing, just remember, when one door closes, another one opens. I'll see you guys soon. See ya.